My slate personally as the president, and I think this applies to all of our slate actually, is institutionalized activism. And what that means is to try to make activism more of a regular thing for all students. Right now we're in a crisis. The California legislature has been cutting our budget at the expense of education and having affordable public education available to all students. So that's one of the things that we want to do. We want to better educate students about the issue and ensure that they're involved in a very productive, constructive way to fight these budget cuts. And one of our other things on our platform is sustainability, environmental and social sustainability, and that's very important for our school. Social sustainability ensures that we are fiscally sustainable, that we are not spending too much money on one thing, spending too little on another. So that's fiscal sustainability. In terms of social sustainability, which also goes along with fiscal, sorry, I got confused, but environmental sustainability as well. We are working very closely with the Student Sustainability Collective. We actually have a senator running with us who's from the SSC, and we want to ensure that we take styrofoam off our campus, have less water bottles, et cetera, et cetera. So please ask me more questions about that later. Thank you.
Well, I'm on the slate, and like I said, my whole platform was to promote understanding between certain groups on campus. Any group really that were in conflict. I don't think that's something that the AS can do. So my new platform is just to do stuff. And I already ran over what I wanted to do. Oh, except I meant to say that I wanted benches. So I guess just to reiterate, I want the KSCT radio station to actually have radio waves. I want the road to get refixed as far as the outside, any partly on the inside. Find a 24-hour coffee shop. I also like to extend the speakers from KSCT to the road and have them play that. If we don't get the radio waves, if we get the radio waves, then I'd like to make all these coffee shops play the music so that it actually has more of an effect. Benches on the walkways, none. There's a lot of walkways. Keep the library open, and other things. Can't remember them all.
Okay, yeah, so I'm not running on a slate because I don't want to get a bunch of people like that'll disagree with me. I want to challenge. So why I'm running is because I'm a really passionate person. I want to inject that passion to UCSD. The first criticism of UCSD that people ever have is that UCSD is socially dead. I want to change that impression. And I think that there's not a couple bullet points that I can say to do that, but I have a whole multitude of problems that I want to push towards fixing. And by fixing all those problems, by implementing a lot of new strategies, by pumping up what we already have at UCSD rather than looking for sugar-coated solutions like football as the UDP end all this everything at UCSD, then I think we can actually make UCSD what we want it to be, which is heck awesome. So that's why I think
Sweet. So I briefly got into it before about our create pillars: to create, to restore, and to empower. So just a refresher, create is about giving you the resources to really make your student experience what you want it to be. It's going to be different for everyone, and we just want to be there to help you. Andrew briefly talked about that with tradition events and increasing org-operated money. Next is to restore. Restore is bringing this university back to what it should be. Public university, which is affordable for all, accessible to all. And we want to take our lobbying efforts to Sacramento more frequently. The regions are not listening to us. We need to go to the next level to our state legislators, our local legislators, to really make them hear our plea. And also restore is about bringing communities back together on campus. Where we allow for communities to do their events in all these different corners of the campus, but we don't ever bring them together. So we need to have more events that bring communities together. And finally, empower is about making you feel that you're not just one in 22,000, but your voice actually matters. And we want to do this through institutionalizing campus-wide committees and making your voice heard to administrators who help make decisions on this campus. So those are briefly our goals. Thanks.
Alright, so I'm running as an independent candidate because I don't want there to be any division in AS Council. I don't want to alienate anyone and be like, oh, I only want to work with this VP external, I only want to work with this VP finance. I'm willing to work with whoever else the students select, because if we really want to bring change to our community, it has to, the AS has to be unified first in order for even the student body to be unified under that. And my main purposes, like I talked about earlier, was decreasing the powers of monopolies on campus, such as housing and dining. My goal for housing and dining is to change all dining dollars to Triton cash. That will allow students to save a lot more money, because the way it is now, you don't spend your money at the end of the year, housing and dining keeps it. It doesn't really make sense for us to have dining dollars that we can only use in the dining halls, because they can charge us as much as they want and we have to buy their food. It really doesn't make sense. With parking transportation services, let's increase more S spots. With their data living off campus for the first year, and it's pretty difficult because driving up and down the parking structures, I see a lot of empty A spots, B spots. Let's change them into S spots because we're paying mortgages on those structures, and it really doesn't make sense to waste our money that way.